Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into it.
Motorists have probably heard of the start-stop system. Some are even happy owners of cars equipped with such functionality. But statistics clearly show that the number of cars with such equipment in Russia is insignificant. Although for the first time this system appeared in the design of cars back in the last century. The first copies began to come off the assembly lines in the 80s. Currently, most car manufacturers have begun to actively move to an alternative way of turning on the ignition and starting the engine. There is no need to turn the key in the ignition. Now everything is done by simply pressing a single button. Experts are confident that in the near future car manufacturers can completely abandon ignition keys. But there is little faith in this possibility, given the small current demand for start-stop systems in Russia. What the system is for. Just knowing about the existence of the start-stop system is not enough to fully understand its features and purpose. Not everyone understands what is the point of abandoning the traditional scheme of starting the engine by turning the key in the ignition. To understand this, it is necessary to take into account the important features of car operation in modern conditions. Stubborn statistics comes to the rescue. It clearly shows that about 30% of the total time that the driver spends behind the wheel of his vehicle, the engine runs at idle. This is warming up, waiting at traffic lights and intersections. During this long period of time, the power unit is running, but the vehicle is not moving. This only means that fuel is being actively burned, which is of no use at all because the vehicle is not moving. Useless fuel consumption leads to increased costs for its driver. One should not forget about the damage caused by the exhaust to the environment. Relying on these features, engineers began to think about a solution to the problem. This is how the start-stop system appeared on the car, which allowed to change the situation noticeably. This system was entrusted with three main functions, which are based on reducing the amount of fuel consumed, reducing the amount of harmful emissions, minimizing the noise emitted by the vehicle. The innovation makes it possible to maximize the efficiency of the engine. When the car is in motion, the engine works in its normal mode. If the vehicle is standing still, the system switches off the engine, which wastes fuel and pollutes the atmosphere. It is important to add that the transition between modes is almost completely automatic. The engine is switched off by a signal from special sensors. To start, the driver of a machine with manual transmission needs to depress the clutch pedal. In the case of an automatic transmission, the power unit starts automatically after the foot is removed from the brake pedal. Initially, this system was installed only on cars equipped with a hybrid powertrain. When start-stop demonstrated all its true potential and usefulness, automakers began to actively apply the development on conventional internal combustion engines. Features of design and operation. This start-stop system can be considered in many ways an ingenious solution. At the same time, the design cannot be called excessively complex. If you do not go into all the design features, then there are only two main components of the solution. To begin with, it is a system that is fully responsible for controlling the starting and stopping processes of the power unit. The second, but no less important, device is the system for fast engine startup. In order to realize the possibility of fast engine starting, different manufacturers use certain methods and solutions. Depending on the type of the start-stop system, it uses starters characterized by increased power indicators, starter generators, which are also referred to as reverse generators, systems for direct injection of fuel mixture into the engine cylinders with subsequent ignition. Each such start-stop system has its own operating principle and design features. If we take the design as a basis, then the simplest solution is considered to be the use of a starter with increased power. It is also interesting that such a system is extremely effective. Read also, how to properly commission a new battery. The developers are specialists from the company Bosch. Their solution is actively used among German automakers such as Audi, BMW, and Volkswagen. The core of the start-stop system here is the starter, which has an increased resource, power, and extended service life. The mechanism emits a minimum of noise, for which it is also highly valued on the market. To pass the control signal, actuators are used. They are directly connected to sensors and the electronic control unit of the power unit. The scheme with the use of reversing alternators is an author's development of Valeo Company. Their solution is widely spread among the cars of the German brand Mercedes and French car Citroën. The developers are sure that their start-stop gives an opportunity to reduce fuel consumption by 10%. As for the reversible generator itself, it is a special device of the electrotechnical principle of action. The main feature is that the device is simultaneously able to perform the functions of a starter and a generator. The advantage compared to starters with increased power is a reduction in the time spent on starting the engine. A pleasant bonus is the silent operation of the system. The third system is start-stop, equipped with direct injection. This is the newest development, the authors of which are engineers of the Japanese company Mazda. The principle of operation of the device is to stop the pistons of the power plant in such a state, which will be optimal for the subsequent start of the engine. Figuratively speaking, the pistons freeze in the desired position. Such a variant of start-stop is relevant only for cars on which direct injection of a combustible mixture of fuel and air is installed. Conditions for operation: different car companies have their own principle of implementing software for engine start and stop systems. However, they all share several principles without which the system cannot function. For this reason, the following rules must be observed. The system operates at a minimum vehicle speed of 4 km per hour or more. The driver's side door must always be closed. The driver must wear a seat belt. If the engine is not warm, the system will not function. Start-stop does not work when the window heater is on, the alternator is out of order, or the battery is low. The system will not start if the car is stopped after reversing. Start-stop will not work if maneuvers with large angles of rotation of the steering wheel, maneuvering in parking conditions. Before operating a vehicle equipped with this equipment, it is necessary to carefully study the operating manual. Manufacturers detail all the conditions, nuances, rules and requirements for the operation of the start-stop. Otherwise, do not be surprised that you bought a car with an innovative start system, and for some reason it does not work. Although you should not exclude the breakdown of the equipment itself. First, make sure that you do not violate the rules of operation of the start-stop button. If you do everything correctly, it is worth contacting a service center for troubleshooting. You can't say that some systems are better and others are worse. Each start-stop has its own strengths and weaknesses. Therefore, this issue should be considered separately. Advantages and disadvantages. The modern automobile system start-stop has its pros and cons. And do not be surprised that the list of advantages will be less than the list of disadvantages. Let's start with the positive points. They have already been considered and consist of two main points. Fuel consumption is reduced. For driving in urban conditions, this is an impressive advantage. After all, it is in populated areas that you often have to stand in traffic jams and at traffic lights. The level of environmental friendliness is increasing. In many countries, this is not an advantage, but rather a rule. European cars are reaching the level of very strict environmental standards. And here, start-stop systems are extremely effective. Conditionally to the advantages can be attributed the fact of the possibility of starting without turning the key. But for many people it has become so habitual manipulation that replacing the key with a button has not become for them something unique and incredibly convenient. Here everyone decides for himself what he likes better. Now let's talk about the disadvantages that the start-stop system has. They may seem significant for many people because increases the initial cost of the vehicle, the cost of repair and maintenance of ignition system components increases, increased demands on battery quality and charge. Noises and vibrations may occur when starting the engine. Read also, what is the purpose of the differential in the car and how it works? Some drivers are used to the engine running all the time and they can hear it. But when the engine starts and stops at times, it creates an involuntary feeling of some malfunctioning. This is more of a psychological aspect of the perception of the new system. Not everyone is ready for such a change. Although we should be fair. Once upon a time, automatic transmissions also caused a lot of apprehension and fears among drivers. They couldn't control the engine because automatics were starting to take charge of everything. There were many complaints about poor performance, unreliability, and frequent breakdowns of automatic transmission. But now the automatic transmission has become an integral part of every car. Literally all automakers give buyers the opportunity to choose between automatic transmission and automatic transmission, and some models are equipped only with automatic. So it is with start-stop systems. They are only at the initial stage of their development and establishment in the automobile market. It takes time for drivers to get used to the innovations and appreciate all the advantages. Systems from different manufacturers. Many names become generic, although in fact they are corporate property of certain companies. In the case of start-stop, the name belongs to Bosch. Since their starting systems are not installed on cars of all car manufacturers, other companies that decided to implement start-stop in their cars developed their own devices with certain differences. Now the leading car companies have their own designations for this solution. Let's go through the main manufacturers. German company BMW designates its systems with the name Auto Start-Stop. Mercedes emphasizes that their system is environmentally friendly, and therefore it is called Eco Start/Stop. Mazda, which we've talked about before, has two designations that sound like I Stop and I Loop. Even Smart have made their own system, which they call MHD, which stands for Micro-Hybrid System. The developers from Citroën did not invent anything special, having designated the system Stop NAP, Start. System, the Korean company Hyundai's is Idle Stop NAP. Go. Volvo, as always, were very restrained and pedantic, so their system is called Start/Stop. Volkswagen just added the word system to the name of the Volvo system. And another Korean company, Kia, got creative and came up with ISG. This is the intelligent stop and go system. Some use the developments of other companies with which they cooperate, applying their own designations. Others have authors' developments. The most common systems are solutions from installed on cars of brands BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, and not only. Abbreviated name from Star Systems. The peculiarity is the use of a reversible generator. Their smart idle is installed on their own cars, a micro-hybrid system called ISG, in many ways similar to the solution from Bosch, is a copyrighted development of Kia. Whether to buy a car with a system of starting and stopping the engine, it is up to each driver to decide for himself. The development definitely has advantages, but it is also characterized by significant disadvantages for many motorists. It does not make much sense to put such solutions on budget cars. The owners will not be ready to spend a lot of money for buying expensive spare parts and for carrying out far from cheap repairs of a more complex engine ignition system. And if it is a car of average price category and higher, the installation of start-stop can largely justify itself. It is suitable for those who spend most of their driving time in city conditions, where there are traffic lights and traffic jams at every step. On the highway, there is no use of the system at all. In conclusion, the start-stop system represents a significant advancement in automotive technology, designed to enhance fuel efficiency and reduce emissions. By automatically shutting off the engine during idle periods and seamlessly restarting it when needed, this system not only contributes to environmental sustainability but also offers drivers a smoother and more efficient driving experience. Understanding its functions, features, and operation can help users appreciate the benefits it brings to modern vehicles. As we continue to innovate in the automotive industry, systems like start-stop will play a crucial role in shaping the future of transportation. Thank you for watching, and we hope this video has provided valuable insights into the start-stop system.